Oh no. Guys, let me know if you can hear me in the chat, please. Oh. Magic. I'm back. I don't know what that was. The internet just randomly dropped out. But now you can't see me, so let me try and fix that. Hello. No idea. No idea. Just randomly dropped out on me. Anyway, can you see what we're working on? I did a tiny bit while we were away. I'm back. Should I share the link again? Should I share the link somewhere? Nah, it's all good. Is it just the three of us now? Who did I lose? Sorry folks, hang on a second. I wonder if you guys got a notification or not when I went back live again. Co-host. What questions did I have? Sorry. Live now on YouTube. Come say hi. No. In that post. Sweet. You got the notification. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cool. That's a little bit behind. Let's go. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good. Maybe I have to see if other people drop back in. It's annoying, but it is what it is. Rockin' Robin, hello, I love your tutorials. Thank you. You're very welcome for the tutorials. Thank you for dropping and saying hello. And we want to know if the missus ever watches your streams. I think she does occasionally, like in and out, but just to just see what's going on, really. That's about it. I know a couple of friends do as well. And has she put a hit out on Julie? Nah. It's all good. It's all good. Julie's got nothing to worry about. I protect me Julie at all costs. So, what I was saying earlier, it was about just creating this design and not caring so much about the background, which is kind of why I'm using that sort of turpentine brush to an extent, and then just darkening up little bits here and just roughly creating a backdrop. So the differences I made while we were off air was I put some highlights in the tree, and I'll probably do the same again, and I'll darken it right up, if not totally black. Darken up this side of the tree just for contrast, to create those streaks in the side of it, maybe even a few dark bits on the right, but just really creating a scene that we really are not fussed about what it looks like. Maybe right in the background I've darkened it up a little bit. Maybe we put like a dark shadow area over here on the left. The ledge here would have a shadow being cast on it. Maybe the dark is too much. Maybe we go for their soft airbrush on the walls, maybe. Let's clear. Can see that then. Maybe we darken up over here. We create like a little shadow in behind the painting on the wall, because there's a light source down here from the fire, and then another little shadow here as well, a little bit in behind there as well, darkening up some of these areas. And then what we could do is just create a really big glow on top of all of this. So I said not to spend too much time on it, but as long as we get enough content in here, when we blur it out, it'll just look awesome. So like here, for example, just where I've added some color down here, maybe I just create a really strong glow from down here, like that kind of thing. Like really blurry, so. Does she get upset with how much time you spend with us? Not at all. Not at all. She, I think, like, with something like this, so it came about, obviously, out of nowhere, really. Like, and the whole, like, streaming thing. There's an extra layer on top. But the thing is, like, I think she understands how, like, driven I am by all of this. And so has no objections at all. Because she understands how much I'm putting into this, and how much like it is gonna come, it's gonna pay off, you know what I mean? Like one day maybe this will be full time, and you know, that'd be ideal, that'd be perfect. But I think she knows that, and I think she understands how much time I'm putting in, and yeah, very understanding, and to everything I do. But I am also understanding, you know, I also try and do a lot of the content during the day, in a sense where like I know she's working, for example, so that way we don't end up like out of sync, you know. I see I've got a few friends and they work like shifts outside of their partner's shifts, do you know what I mean? So as in like you know, they are out of sync in a sense that they work hours the opposite of what their partner does, and I couldn't live like that. That's too much. It's like it's not right for me. So yeah. Does she get how much time spent for that? Trouble's back. What have I missed? We completely lost the stream. And I moved on to this design where I'm just trying to explain the sort of differences for this. We're going to add some glitter onto this tree as well. Now, how I go about doing that, I'm not sure just yet. I may simply just grab some like a cool light color here, and then just dab on either some stipple collection lights here, like that, all over the tree. So this is what I'm again referring to, is that we don't care what this looks like. We're gonna sprinkle on some lights, just as long as they land on the tree, we're all good. So sprinkle on some of these here. Maybe change up some of the tones, maybe to slightly different yellow, and just glitter that tree up, adding in lots and lots of lights up and down the tree. Maybe even some slightly whiter ones as well. Pressing quite firmly with the stipple collection, just so we get some nice bright lights in here. So that's just to add a little bit of extra context in there. Oh, I think we're getting everybody back now, I think. I've gone a bit like fuzzy-eyed, I can't really... I feel like I'm going cross-eyed or something. Nah, Denver winds us up. Different schedules, yeah, not for me. I love the drawing, really want to try it. So this one, we're still going to get through it all. I'm taking that lack of answers, yes, by the way, to what? To which questions? But, sorry. What else should we add to the tree? The only thing we need to do is maybe just very quickly, let's just very quickly add in some like red baubles on the side or something. And I mean, like, we just want to make this quick. Too bright. Lower that tone down a lot. Something like this. You could maybe make them a bit bigger in certain areas. So what I'm hoping for is come the end, everything will blur lovely and be nice and somewhat detailed enough to the point where we've got enough that when we blur it, it still looks like we blurred out some detail, you know, like doing little things like that. And then maybe darkening up one side slightly, where say this side is a bit darker. Again, I'm going fuzzy-eyed, I can't really concentrate on it too well. Does Mr. ever get annoyed? My eyes have gone funny. Oh wow, that's close. Ever get annoyed at the obvious thirst towards you in chat? Nah. I'm an absolute catch. She knows it, so. No, I'm fine. Sometimes when I'm drawing like this, I get so focused in on the details and whatnot, and then I look over at you guys. I'm not crying or anything. I'm fine. I'm fine. But thank you. Right, should we see what this actually tends to look like now? So let's flatten the background. Let's just duplicate it so we don't, just in case we come back to it. And then let's flatten the whole layer. Let's then Gaussian blur it out. And that's pretty bang on what I wanted that to look like. You know, it's enough. Like, hang on, let me get rid of the guide on the top there. That's exactly how I wanted that to look. So maybe in the future, like, we would maybe add a little bit more context to the tree, but the tree as a whole, you can get the impression that with all of those pen strokes in there and the lighting on one side and the fireplace creating that lovely glow down here, that is, look, it's all part of the same scene. You know what I mean? Maybe that shadow up there is a bit dark, but we're just doing it on the fly. So all our focus really should be is here. And the problem if we create this as a tutorial, excuse me, is that I don't want people to get hyper focused on the background. And that's the whole point of me doing this right now, just to show that you know, you don't need to put a lot of time into that. Okay, Sorry, hubby got home. No problem. Good to see you back here. She knows he's punching. She knows he's punching as it is. I bet. Right. Let's carry on. Let's take a look at our table now and then see what we can do to it. So it's going to be actually pretty tough to do, but we'll get there. We'll get there. Let's create a new layer. Clipping mask it to the leg of the table. Let's add that in there. Let's go for some soft airbrush, and so we've got a fireplace just in behind there, right there. So we need to just show some of that lighting making its way around that table leg, or the center piece holding it all up. And then let's grab the shadow color, the darkest one I think here. That's not dark enough. Let's just go straight to there. Thank you, Milo, appreciate that. Not a lot of people, Milo, come here for the artwork anymore. It's just something I've grown accustomed to, Milo. Don't feel sorry for me. Julie, I love this drawing. Appreciate that. Dobby. Right, what's next? Let's just build everything up first of all. Excuse me. So with the direction of the light, we'd get some, like in this section here, maybe a bit more shadowed here. So I'm going to, first of all, just darken it up as it should be, which is kind of like this underside here. And then maybe around the top edge there as well. And then let's grab the orange. The light source would be coming straight through there pretty much. So let's just lighten up that bottom edge. Like so. Something like that to start with. I'm not 100% sure on where this lighting's all going to go for a minute. So for a moment, I'm just sort of putting it in place and seeing how it fits. So we get a nice strong glow from that side. Maybe we get a bit of a, no, not on that side. Maybe a little bit of darkness underneath the plate. Not convinced on the table. I think it might be a bit too dark and a bit boring. The art's a nice bonus. True. Fair enough. I'll take it. I'll take it. I don't suppose I've got much of a choice. Let's go around this top edge. No, don't like that. No, don't like that either. I come for all. Joel, the art, the JC fam, it's good to share and have a good time. Man, it's great to see you in the Discord as well. Really cool to see you over in there. I love to watch how other people do their shadows. You know, this current one's a bit messy. I don't think I'm a fan of the table. I think it's too dark. Do you know what? Let's just crack on. Let's crack on because I can change it all afterwards. Let's go to the table now. Let's just create a darker grey. I'm not even sure we could make a palette for this type of design. Like this type of design would have to be like a let's pick a colour from here sort of thing. I'm not the biggest fan of those types of tutorials where you don't get the specific palette, but there's just going to be so many tones in here that I don't think you can. Let's just create another layer just separate from the plate just to darken up, so creating like that rounded look to the plate. That looks mental, I know. Let's just lower the opacity down a tiny bit. I'm going to struggle to get that to look right. I know I am. To be honest with you, I don't like it. I don't even like the table. Do you know what would look better here? Let's get rid of that. We've got this whole scene we can play with. Maybe we do something like, it's gonna take a little while to do. Maybe we sketching. Let's go shoulders across there, arm down here, arm out that way, body through there, head here, followed by hat, body here, followed by body there, waistcoat, trousers, or pants as everybody in the States will call it. The shoulder actually will come down here. That would round off on the top of the shoulder. That would come round here. That would actually just disappear. That would become like an arm here. And then rucksack, not rucksack, sack of presents over the shoulder onto the back. And we've got the presents all in the backpack. With Santa. Santa's ear would fit the other way, maybe like here, followed by big curly beard and hair. Hair comes around the back of the head like so, up and under there, followed by beard over the shoulder, so the shoulder then rolls up into the top of the back, round here. Bicep, beard, just enough beard that we can see who it is, a nose maybe. Next, if we do the no, that's fine. And the curly hair on the side, followed by the hat. Let's adjust the hat. That is too big. Let's go for something maybe say this sort of size, followed by the hat over the top, up into there, tail off into the hat, big bushy bit on the back, sack on the back for the neck, that shoulder's too wide, and then maybe the hand position is a claw, so around there, thumb upwards, followed by the fingers, followed by the hand, glove, don't need to do the little finger, into the fluffy part of the coat, into there. We'll adjust that afterwards. Into the arm. The arm needs to be far bigger and less. I mean, Santa's looking buff. Like, Santa needs to relax. Let's just do thicken that up around the waist. Are we doing fluff or are we doing a belt? Let's do a belt instead. So we're doing a belt that would come all the way around here. Sack on the back of the shoulder. So that's looking cool. Oh, sorry, I was miles away there and just trying to work that out. An armchair near the front would be nice. That would have been a good suggestion, actually. That's nice. Dobby, all right, I've got to go, folks. The mister is home and the groceries, and I need to put them away. Dobby, thanks for dropping in. I appreciate you with the super chat as well earlier on, showing some love. I appreciate you. Have a lovely evening. See you cool cats and kittens on Discord. We are the same. Have a great night. Right, so you can see there kind of what it is I'm trying to do. I think the hand, you just sort of witness me sort of just talking out loud, I guess, with my thoughts on the whole thing. And then just let's scale that hand up a little bit. Don't think it's quite, that's not bad. That's not bad, maybe even a bit bigger. The fingers need to be reduced down in size. But overall, we could draw Santa there. We could do anything there. I think the problem is maybe I've done Santa too big, because now you can't get an idea for the fireplace. So maybe Santa sort of scale down and put it in the corner. Santa's a dwarf, so maybe need to make Santa a bit bigger there. The tree would be fairly large, but we don't want to make it too big that we lose the background, you know? I mean, listen, like I said, we're not interested in the background, are we? We don't care. So let's try and draw that in. Damn, what time is it? Damn, it's nearly half 11. Okay, well, we'll make it work, So, Santa, let's do you some justice, my friend. What do you think? Do we think Santa? I think Santa looks okay. I think maybe, like I said, the arm, looking at it from the back, the arm itself would definitely trail down in front. Santa is not that buff, so let's try and I mean, nobody knows what he's been up to all year, I guess, but something maybe like that, where we flick that round to white. Okay, that's kind of cool. Maybe I think he's like, I don't know. Let's do Santa some justice. Let's not make him fat, you know. We're gonna try and just draw it in how I think I'm gonna see it, and then we can then add in some extra stuff on top. Cool cats and kittens. Is that what's it called? What's the name of that program, chat? Not Lion King. Oh damn, what's it called? On Netflix. Tiger King. That's the one. That is the one. Okay, let's try that. Lion King. Yeah, that was way off there, wasn't I? Let's try some nice big curly locks, which I guess would go all the way underneath the bag. The bag would sit over the top of the shoulder, so yeah, it would sit in front. Which means that line is wrong. That line there needs to literally wrap around there into the side of the head. We get rid of that. I've definitely started this way too late. Yeah, they have new episodes actually, you're right. I've not even checked that out at all. I think the hype at the time, like it was like COVID, wasn't it? Like peak COVID. So everybody was watching it. Everybody. But now I think I'm a bit, I hate to say it, I think I'm a bit over it. Is anybody else the same? Hat. Let's move into the hat. This should come together a little bit more now once I've got this sort of done. And then I can work out what I do and do not want to change. flick that back to red. Let me just turn off that for just 2 seconds, because that could actually work out quite nicely. The easier thing would have been to do would just make his arm just go down. If we go back in there and erase. I like his hand up, but I just don't know if I want to do that. To be fair, I could probably just get rid of all of that. Proportionally, that is so wrong. So normally, in a situation like this, to give you some insight, I would probably normally grab, there's websites where you can create a model, and you can then use that model to just like sort of work out body positions, and then we use that to then work out where we want to draw the body actually in and from. So you would create a model online first before you did this. That's typically what I would do. But that would work. That would work. I'm not sure I want to get into that now. You know, maybe that would need to actually. We're just doing this on the fly, and let's just see how it goes. No, I think maybe even. Yeah, Galshir has one named Post. I really liked the look of that. I thought it was a bit, I think at the time it might have been a bit pricey, maybe. I can't really remember when I looked at it. Okay, so let's just lower that down now and maybe just create the shapes from it. How should we do the arm? I think he should have like a slightly rounder shoulder. Let's go back to that drawing. What if his shoulder just swoops down like that instead? Definitely looking a bit better. Something about this arm, I just don't like the look of it. I don't like it. Santa. Okay, so I typed in Santa behind, and all I see is Santa behind bars. Jesus. It's gonna be a weird search. Santa rear? No, that actually did work. Got it. Right, 2 seconds. Let me go here. Let me just switch this back. How we doing? Who's here? We've only got 4. Only 4 now. We had more than that when the last time, before we disconnected. A corner of an armchair would have been finished already. Hindsight. Shut up. I know, I know. 2 seconds. Okay, so you liked the table. I know. I just didn't. Oh, damn it! This is the problem. Like, I've gone down a little avenue now that I don't feel like I can go back from. I still kept the table and stuff though, so that is still there. So I can switch back to it. Let's go back to yeah. So we found a picture of Santa that would work. Like, if you actually got rid of all of that rubbish on the side. Doesn't need to be anything special because it's just a guide. And maybe the perspective isn't quite right, but we'll make it work. Do you know what I mean? Something like that would have looked better. I just couldn't get that perspective right on the fly. How's the sketchboard? Haven't opened mine yet. This thing, honestly, so like you can see the camera now, and I've adjusted the camera angle so that it's flat. Like it still looks flat, so it's like tilted along with the sketchboard. But drawing on it for so long and just long movements where my hand there just continues on, whereas before I'd get to the edge of the iPad and my hand's then floating. And I genuinely feel the difference between like just running straight off the iPad because my hand's got somewhere to go. It's really strange to try and explain, but once you start with it, you'll realise and understand exactly that. Kat, you just got rid of Joel's close-up. What were you thinking? Kat, you just got rid of Joel's close-up. What were you thinking? Who's here? Who's here? Say hello in chat if you're here, and we'll take a look at some sneak peeks of stuff. I don't think I should finish that. It's a bit too late. So taking a look at that, like that actually looks so much better. Let's make a quick sketch of that. So just in case I use this in the future for anything. Wait, I don't know what you mean. Did she? What close up did she? When did I get a close up? We can make that work. We can make that work. Let's try and do it real quick, I guess. Let's try and pick some colours. Calligraphy. Yeah, Milo, I think it would be pretty cool. I think if we can... Yeah, I was doing that. Yeah, if we can get this right, this is all very dependent on the position that we put Santa in. If we don't nail the aesthetic and the positioning of him, it just won't come off at all. Let's create another new layer, group them nice and tidy, slightly off red here for the sack on the back here. Okay, so that's looking good. Let's then just grab the white for some of the white areas, which will be this one here on the cuff. This one would be a hella tricky tutorial, like to make, to explain the way through it. I could make this a Patreon one. I think if I did, it would be a very long one. I want to show you guys some ideas on what I think I'm going to do with some of the content I've already done and explain to you where it's going to probably end up, and before I finish anyway. So we can take a look at that together and just see what it is I've got planned for you. And then let's go here. Is that all behind that? Yeah, that's good, good. Drop that in, and then maybe some skin tone. Okay, nice. I'll make that work afterwards. Let's turn the sketch off. Let's take a look. So that wouldn't be too bad to do. Oh, hang on. I missed how you made the background, so I'd like it as a tutorial. So Julie, all I did for the background, right, was just create a scene. I'll show you the actual scene. I've still got it, so I duplicated it just in case. That's what it looked like after I made the blur. And all it looked like before was this. Look at that mess. That's all it looked like. Just dabbed on it, like so, with the Pen.Tips brush, I think it was. I think it was under painting turpentine. I just created a scene. We created a scene where we've got some tree, the fireplace down here. I added like a big soft brush glow on the top, which gave it that warmth, and then added some tones in there. But like I mentioned at the time, we don't care for the background. The background in here is simply to try and just blur the whole thing out. So it looks rubbish. Like, I mean, it's just whipped together. It took no time. But once we blur that, that's when the magic happens, in my opinion, because all of those details that we don't care for are gone anyway. And so all we just needed to do was just add enough where we can depict the scene. We know what it stands for in the background, and it takes nothing away then from our Santa now that stands in front. And then Santa we can colour in now and put it together. So this would be like a two-parter. And to be honest with you, this one here I fear would take a long time. Excuse me. Would take a long time to do, like tutorial wise. So I think what we'd have to accommodate for is like, do you know what I actually would have done? Hang on, 2 secs. I would have probably put white. Let's go airbrushing, soft. So what I was getting at there is, maybe I'd create like multiple versions of this tutorial, like some with some layers already done, some with multiple stencils maybe. This could look really, really nice if that comes off in the blur. You know, just add in some little bits in here. Now I could create, I think I just caught a glimpse in the corner of my eye of cat. I think maybe suggesting about the table. I could maybe leave the table in as a stencil, but you just have to freestyle it yourself. You know, go ahead and try and do it, ignoring the rest of basically my tutorial in a sense of, you know, just going for it, testing your ability. I think now, if I was to do it again, let's flatten that down. Let's turn that off. Duplicate it. Flatten the group, turn off the original, then go to adjustments, Gaussian blur, and when we blur that, yeah, that's much better. We get a lot more of those little star, no, not stars, little twinkles, sorry, from our tree in the background there. So what's that, 8%? And then when we turn on Santa again, we get that depth of focus, which looks really cool. Right, let me go back. Let's see where we are. What about using fur brush for the white and red areas? Could do that, maybe. There used to be a table with cookies on it. Stencils would be good, and use this video to timestamp to show you how you made the tree from scratch. Could do that. It's a good call. Reuse the content. Let's see what brushes we could use maybe in Santa's coat. What's this one? Oh, wrong layer, that's right. Let's take a look. Main body. It's not a bad brush. What I really want to start doing is messing with different brushes, like a lot, and just learning and feeling comfortable using different brushes all the time. And I think I personally get so wrapped up in the ones that I like all the time, that yeah, it's just good to change it up, try something different. A brush like this can sometimes aid you quite a lot with like adding texture, because they like the way it layers on top of itself. And you can like darken up areas like this, up and over the back of the shoulder. And if I'm using different brushes, then you know, I might use them in tutorials, which means we all end up using different brushes, which looks pretty cool. Maybe we add like a little bit around behind the waistband there, especially down in these areas where they may end up being a little bit darker. This one's got like a nice little texture running through it. Can you guys see that texture if I see that? Yeah, little bits in there. That makes it look a bit closer to like realistic. There's so many layers in this one. How many layers is there? In Santa alone there's, and some of them are 7, but some of them have got it on. Once you get rid of the background and you get rid of some of these excess ones that I've got, we should be able to save quite a few different layers in there, fingers crossed. The back of this sleeve I want to darken up so that in a second I can add in some colour, making its way over his shoulder and round his body, where the fireplace is then affecting him. So I always say, like, how can you put your subject in the environment? Like, how does the environment affect Santa? So maybe we switch it out to like this orange and then just see how we can maybe just run a little bit of colour over the top there of his shoulder. Maybe just a little bit, making its way around his body. Now it wouldn't come around the side heavily, it would just stroke the edges of his body. So all you need to add is that, and then you can just go to town on the shadows. Move them right up to the edge. Okay, let's just leave that for 2 seconds. Maybe under the arm actually. There's a tiny bit that makes its way through the gap underneath the arm and onto his body. Just gonna leave that for a second. Let's switch it out to like a grey. Let's take a look at maybe his hair. I'm not set on this brush, but we'll see. Just a little bit of something under here. Don't like this brush. Just start again. Let's go for good old trusty for a minute. If you have an issue with layers, you could work each section and merge together. Absolutely, we could indeed. So I'm trying to be more conscious of that in my tutorials as well. Like I keep thinking as I'm going, like, hang on a second, would somebody here have an issue? Would somebody here have an issue? You know, how could I at each point realize to myself, okay, the layers are starting to get a bit higher now. How can we maybe just combat that? So I am trying my best to make sure in future tutorials that is something I am keeping an eye on. You might notice it in some of the ones coming up basically now that I've said that. Dust brush would be nice to shade in one. That would be cool as well actually. Let's see where we get from here. Let's just carry on as long as I can and then see where we end up. Oh, what? Let's go selection. lost his hair there for a second. That layer there. Maybe it'll end up being like the ribbon one, where there's certain sections that we then add some extra texture to and darken up here and there. What's up, Joey? If you are here, I appreciate you subbing on YouTube. Appreciate you. Just realised that hand is also on the wrong layer. So tired I'm getting, that's why. Let's grab that. And let's redo that as its own layer. And then I can remove it from that shape. Ignore that from. Let's create a new layer. There we go. We'll work that out when it comes to it. Select, clear, nice. It is coming along, but this one's a bit of a pain. Bit of a pain, but it's all good, it's all good. So I'm just trying to get, I just want to get the basics in of him, and then again, as I mentioned, just try and work out then how it's affecting, how the environment would then light up on him as well. So just darken up some of these bits around the bottom here. Maybe even just go a bit darker again and go all the way around that bottom edge. Scrap that. Why don't we go back to the body and darken it up under there even more? Let's have a look. Can we darken up the majority of this? That already looks much better. Maybe even a bit of a shadow here. Cool. I think we'll just... Oh, wrong there. Done these two on the same layer, so just have to try and work around it. It's no biggie. trying to create some little extra layers in there. That would do. At this point, I think I'm just doing it for me. I can't think I'm going to make this into a tutorial potentially. Not, to be fair, not everything I ever do on stream will always be a tutorial, but we'll see. We'll see if I can work out the process. I mean, the table, maybe, to be honest with you, even Julie's suggestion. No, I don't mean even Julie's suggestion. You know what I mean? But like Julie's suggestion as well, of maybe doing a chair in the corner. You know, something like that would definitely also still work. Try and simplify it where possible. That's the problem. Sometimes I would love this is probably more like a Skillshare sort of class where it, you know, we've got long chapters, long designs, and we go far more in. But I mean, I'm not opposed to doing it sometimes on Patreon, to be honest with you. I think it'll be cool. Like, it's good, strong content for everybody to be tucking into. What I want to get to a stage right now is basically going, okay, so let's go back down to his body, go clipping mask, and then how does that glow from the fire affect him? Well, maybe he'd have like a little bit of orange around here, maybe around the side of his body, you know, maybe a little bit on the layers that I've already worked on. So let's just say like the hat, for example. What if we did like a little bit of a glow like coming around the edge of the hat, maybe even a little bit as well around that outside edge, maybe the tiniest bit from his sleeve as well. Like his sleeve would get a lot of colour in there as well. You know, I know it's not got any shading in it, but let's try and just very quickly just whip up like a darker side. His sleeve would have some orange that just comes around the edge here, and maybe the last bit was a little bit too much, but maybe something like that, just to again bring that lighting from the fireplace onto his body a little bit. But I think I'm going to hit pause on this one. It has just hit midnight as well. So this one though turned out really cool, like the glitter effect inside there, courtesy of Kat and her brush that she provided, is perfect. So that is something that's probably going to crop up as a tutorial soon, but stay tuned for Friday where we've got this beautiful little fella as the tutorial, which comes out on Friday. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I don't think there is. Yeah, the canes came out really well. I'm very pleased with them, and the additions from Kat and everybody in chat, to be fair, were awesome. Really took it to another level. So guys, I'm gonna wrap it up because I'm getting a bit tired, but also I need to be ready and awake for tomorrow. Guys, I've loved coming back today. We had a good old little session again to see everybody. So stay tuned for the tutorial on Friday. If you haven't and you're a patron, make sure you've checked out the newest tutorial that just went live today. But otherwise, as always, I thank you all for hanging around as long as you guys do. You guys are amazing, and I will see you again on Wednesday, where maybe we'll do a draw along, but don't tell Kirsty. I don't know. Maybe I'll think about it. We'll have to see. Listen, thank you so much. Have a lovely day, a lovely evening, a lovely morning, wherever you are in the world, and I'll see you again next Wednesday. Peace.